All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We're backing up for another week of Just a Fan podcast. Down below, and yes, I'm introducing myself last because there's a reason for it. Down below, the music producer of this program, the man who came up with the idea to start this show, Steve White, man, what's up?
What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Got direction, the defensive mastermind, exposing the rampant hypocrisy. Okay, he said the same thing from last week.
Damn straight.
Eric Pando 316, man, what's good, man?
Man, we got a crazy playoff scenarios happening this week, man. And
Yes, a lot of it. So we're gonna jump into that. We're gonna jump into that. All right. And I'm the quarter host, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this show, the NFL Encyclopedia. And as you can see, how excited I am about certain things. Fly, Cardinals, fly. Fly, Cardinals, fly. And I see, look, last year I told y'all there was, we all, if you're old enough, you know about the movie Angels in the Outfield, okay? Now, last year, there was something called Angels in the End Zone that tried to help the Rams become try to be a successful team, but just wasn't good enough. So now, Angels in the End Zone Part 2, and they helped the Cardinals beat those Eagles. So we're going to fly, Cardinals, fly. That's right. That's right, baby. All right. So
to the road to victory?
Huh?
To the road to victory?
Hey, that's fine. Road to victory. And it was a lot. It was a great victory, and I love every single second of it too. What in the world?
Sorry.
Pando being random.
No, man, I was trying to get my feet up on my other screen.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Anyway, so we got playoff scenarios, and we're gonna go through a lot of different teams for this week. Let's start off with the LA Rams, who played the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, so technically, neither one of these teams really need to. They're kind of locked in. The Rams are not going to lose the 6th seed. 49ers are the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this should look like a preseason game, but we know the Rams are probably going to play for pride because San Francisco's been curb stomping them for like the last 3 years straight in the regular season. Like I'm serious, like that's a real thing. Like the Niners have swept the Rams, I think 3 years. It might be 4, but 3 years straight in the regular season, they have,
Yeah.
So the Rams are playing for pride more than anything. And pride to get you in trouble, though. That's the thing. Pride comes before the fall. So, but the Rams are locked in. They're the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
They'll end up playing the 3 seed. They'll be going to Detroit to be playing. It'll be the return of Matthew Stafford to Detroit to play the Detroit Lions, and it might actually be a fair officiating. No, it won't be because all the officials stink this year. I don't care what game it is. The officiating has been horrible, but I don't want to go off on that tangent.
You're also going to have Jared. Well, I mean, even though he'll be going back to Detroit, but Jared Goff will be playing against his former team as well.
Right. So you got two guys. It's a quarterback exchange program. So yeah, they're kind of locked in. So there's not a whole lot to talk about. Like I said, other than them playing for pride.
Yep.
more than anything else. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get the Niners. Okay, well,
if they do, they're not smart because
no, I agree.
They can't climb seeding positions. You guys have the number 1 seed. It should be backwards versus backwards. Like you said, preseason game right here. You want to keep folks healthy for the playoffs. If they don't choose to do that, then that's on them. But
and then here's the thing for both teams. For both teams, here's the thing. You may need some of these guys that don't get a lot of burn in the regular season in the playoffs.
Yep.
So this is a good warm-up game for some of your guys on the bench that you may have to call on if somebody, God forbid, gets hurt in the playoffs. These guys got experience, they got real game experience, and they can get out there. So, and we're going to talk more about these teams that are locked in. Yeah. Like your Niners, your Cowboys, your Baltimore Ravens and stuff like that. We're going to talk about that later in the show. What we're going to focus on right now is more on the teams who are on the cusp. They're mathematically alive. They're on the inside, but they could get bumped out, or they're on the outside and they could bump somebody. We're going to focus a little bit more on those teams. We got craziness happening in the AFC South.
Yes.
You basically have 3 teams who are vying for 2 spots. So the scenario is basically you have the Indianapolis Colts playing the Houston Texans, and the winner of that game is going to get in the playoffs. However, if the Jacksonville Jaguars lose to the Tennessee Titans, the winner of the Houston-Indianapolis game becomes the division champion of the AFC South. So there's a lot to play for. That's an interesting thing going on in that division.
Yes, definitely.
We all picked Houston to be the second place team in that division. And when we did our preseason show, we were doing our picks for the division. We picked Houston. So it's going to be interesting. But Gardner Minshew's playing some interesting football right now.
Hey,
so
look.
There's a game that I would recommend everybody watch this weekend. If you got YouTube TV or if you got a streaming service where you can watch.
Go to your local bar like Buffalo Wild Wings.
I would because they're really playing for something here.
Yeah, no, they are.
So that's a game worth watching. Houston and Indianapolis is going to be worth watching because they have something. There's very few games this week where somebody has something to play for, and they got to get all their marbles, push all their chips into the table, and
Well, the thing is, like, we didn't expect Indianapolis to perform this well. Okay, that's number one.
Yeah,
Houston, we knew that they were going to be improved,
but not to
this level, and nobody saw.
Level.
I mean, nobody saw. I mean, and look, and another thing we discussed too. We discussed C.J. Stroud being in this offense, and we was like, hey, it's quarterback friendly. This, that, and the third, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but nobody saw what he's doing.
Thank you. If you and no one had this on their bingo card either. So
we knew he was going to be okay.
And we was like, okay, give him time to grow. No one had Indianapolis Colts success on their bingo card. Nobody had C.J. Stroud's rookie season numbers on their bingo card either. So,
and might I add, the Colts did a lot of this without Jonathan Taylor.
They did a lot of this with Anthony Richardson too. Yeah, because Anthony Richardson was penciled in as a starter.
This is also true
over Gardner Minshew. So, yeah.
So that's kind of impressive. C.J. Stroud's number 63.2 completion percentage. He's over 3,000 yards. He could possibly get to the 4,000 yard mark this week.
And didn't he miss like a game or two?
He missed I think he missed 2 games, or 2 or 3 games. 21 touchdowns, only 5 picks. There's some MVP candidates that's got more interceptions than C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, that's true.
Quarterback passer rating, 99.0 passer rating.
That's good.
His QBR is not as, it's 54.4, but
he's
for a rookie,
he's growing. That's the thing.
Right, for a rookie to be able to do what he's doing is very impressive. And I just don't. It's going to be a crime if he does not win Rookie of the Year.
Oh, he will. It's no question.
Yeah, give him the trophy now. Just hand it to him.
Yeah.
And you could see the difference in the team when he's not there. As opposed to when he came back last week, it's like, whoa, Houston kicking once again.
Yep.
Yep.
So he's impressive, man, and he's only in his rookie season.
That's scary. That's scary, man.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So moving on, there's another team that's in the NFC West. We're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. They really messed themselves up by losing to Pittsburgh last week. They have to win their game, but they need a ton of help to get in. Despite they can't just win their game. They, and people look at the schedule and say, "Oh, they're playing Arizona Cardinals," but hey, man, Arizona just took down,
the Eagles.
Took down the Eagles. So there's no guarantee that Seattle's going to win that game because they're on the road in Arizona. That's the first thing. And the second thing, even if they win that game, they need Green Bay to lose against Chicago. Now, could Green Bay lose to Chicago? Yes. Do I think they will? I doubt it. Chicago's been playing really well. They're eliminated. Now they just playing spoiler.
Yeah.
But it's a divisional game.
Yep.
And you know how these divisional games are.
They tough.
Crazy things happen in divisional games. So
Philly, Washington.
yeah. So, we don't know. Now, that's another game, folks, if you want to keep your eyes open, because what Green Bay does is going to determine a whole lot in the NFC playoff picture. Right now, if the season was over before these games are played, Green Bay is a 7th seed. But if Green Bay loses, then that opens the door for Seattle and a couple other kind of minor domino effects, not a whole lot. But yeah, that's crazy. Also, moving on, we're going to talk about Atlanta and New Orleans. Realistically, yes, they're both mathematically alive.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to beat, one has to beat the other because they play each other this weekend.
Yes.
But also they need Tampa Bay to lose to Carolina.
And I did not expect Tampa Bay to be possibly be division champions. I mean, I didn't have that on my bingo card. I had New Orleans.
None of us did.
I think we all had New Orleans.
Yeah. because we was like, okay, yeah, they lost Drew Brees, but now they
Derek Carr,
with Derek Carr, and it's like, okay, they should win the division with ease.
Hey guys, I'm about to really mess with y'all.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what we had Tampa Bay? All 4 of us.
Last place. We all had Tampa Bay
unanimously last place in the AFC South.
But and I'm not gonna blame Bryce Young because it's a mess in Carolina, especially with the owner. But we had Bryce Young over Baker Mayfield.
But Baker Mayfield's starting to turn that coin on the Baker Mayfield clock.
I understand. I
see the game last week against the Saints.
I understand that. But what you gotta understand is
Bakering.
We have now I want you to think about it. We have Bryce Young rookie over Baker Mayfield, but it's just a hot mess in Carolina right now.
Yeah,
I feel like we had that because of Frank Reich.
And see, Frank Reich was so much successful in Indianapolis, wasn't he?
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure that was, for me, that was a big part of
because he was successful in Indianapolis. So when he went to Carolina, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bryce doesn't have a whole lot to work with.
No, he doesn't. No.
I was thinking of taking my pick back when Thielen was named the number 1 receiver.
It's like, come on, bro. Come on.
Like, okay.
Thielen is old. Like, Thielen's like.
Change that pick. Once I learned that, I said, all right, this might be a mistake right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still didn't see Tampa Bay in last place, though. Because
Baker
has not started bakering until late. He waited until late in the season to start bakering.
Atlanta has like young talent on offense. They can't get it together.
They can't at all.
No, they need a quarterback.
I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked that Arthur Smith they're gonna retain him another year. That was shocking.
They retained. Okay, so from what I heard, and this is what I'm hearing. Okay, they might retain Arthur Smith because they wanted him to go get another quarterback. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, so they say, okay,
because Ritter's not it.
We want you to get another quarterback, and then we gonna see. And if you still a hot mess, then we gonna fire you. Kind of like that.
Yep.
Okay, hey man, that at least he get a second chance to keep his job.
Yeah,
Things might change.
yeah,
You
that
got
could
people
change.
like Russell Wilson that might be available. So who knows? But
But Russell Wilson more than likely
we
will be
won't get into
available.
that because that's a whole other show.
Yeah, that's
But because that's about a couple of hours of good discussion by itself. That whole situation.
woo.
Yeah. So anyway, getting back to the NFC South. Yeah, New Orleans and Atlanta. The winner of that game still will not get in to I'm trying to say five Dennis Allen. But the winner of that game still won't get in the playoffs unless the Carolina pulls off a miracle and makes Baker bake like he bakes them turnovers like he normally
Hey,
do. He on
Carolina,
that second hand of that Baker Mayfield clock.
Carolina,
Yeah.
do what Arizona did. Call angels in the angels in the end zone.
Stranger things have happened.
Man,
But
yo, could you imagine that?
No.
Could you imagine Carolina beat Tampa Bay?
so what has to happen is, and I forgot what time these games are, but somebody's going to probably be watching while.
Matter of fact,
Let me see. Hold on, I can check it right quick. So
I was about to
yeah,
check it
so
too.
the 12 o'clock Central. 12 o'clock Central game is Tampa and Carolina, and I think
was that update already?
yeah, and the Saints and the Falcons play. Okay, so they play at the same time.
Yeah, they play at the same time. I see
So
that.
somebody's got to be watching on the sidelines for the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints, because in essence, they're going to have to play hard all the way through this game until they figure out, what happens in this game. Because if you slack off, like let's say Tampa Bay blows this open, then okay. It's like, all right, well, we had a nice run. Let's get ready for next year. Who's fired PC? Who is
Pete Carmichael, I think it's the offensive coordinator.
Okay. All right. But they really don't have realistically speaking, just looking at it from probability, New Orleans and Atlanta doesn't look like they're going to get in because I just don't see Tampa Bay losing to Carolina.
I don't either.
Yeah. So, we talked about New Orleans and Atlanta. We talked about Indianapolis and Houston, which that's going to be a good game.
And that game come on Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be one Saturday. You got to go ahead
Saturday night. Yep.
Yeah. And sit down and watch that and get you some popcorn.
Yes, sir.
So Pittsburgh. So they avoided having a losing season for Mike Tomlin. That was great. However, they need a ton of help.
Yeah, they do.
And they have to win, and they got to play the best team in the league. So Pittsburgh, in my opinion, I think is that pretty much done.
Well, if you're Baltimore, like San Fran, you're sitting everybody. Like, what do you?
I would.
You got
if I'm Baltimore, and I said in the NFL group, you sitting down Lamar Jackson.
This isn't even a conversation.
You sitting down his weapons. You sitting down his offensive line.
I'm starting third strings.
I would.
Starting third.
You would. But because we're going to get into the teams that need to sit people down, and you got some coaches that do some crazy stuff and jeopardize their chances at a Super Bowl.
Like Miami. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, go ahead. No, my bad.
Yeah, but yeah, like the common sense things, and I trust John Harbaugh. I think he'll sit everybody.
I hope so.
So, but here's the thing, though. So let's say John Harbaugh sits everybody. Pittsburgh goes in there against the backups in Baltimore. Okay. Pittsburgh wins that game. They still need Buffalo to lose, or they still need Jacksonville to lose, or they still need Houston and Indy to tie, or they still need Jacksonville to lose and Houston, Indy.
That's why they should have never took Kenny Pickett in the first round back in 2022.
Yeah, and you got there with Mason Rudolph.
Listen. A lot of GMs were really like afraid to take quarterbacks in 2022. Those guys were not worth it. It was Kenny Pickett, it was Desmond Ritter, it was Sam Howell, and it was like one or two other quarterbacks who Malik Willis. All those guys, I mean, of course, Pitt got drafted in round 1, but the rest of them guys, they got drafted like after round 2.
And remember Tristan, who basically scouts quarterbacks for us. Who make sure you watch us in the offseason when we start getting ready for the draft, because we all do that. Tristan, who scouts our quarterbacks, said, I remember him saying this, it's a weak quarterback class.
It
And
was
yeah.
weak.
he
It was
said
weak.
that. He
That was-
told us that.
It was weak.
That was a
He
bad
told us
QB
that.
class right there.
He
It was
said
weak.
that. Tristan was like, hey, man, this class is not very strong.
Mhm.
You know, and if you drafting a guy, you sticking him out there in the center day one, hey, man, it may not end well for you.
Those guys all, and you can tell they all need development. I mean, Sam Howell needs ton of development still. Malik Willis, somebody's going to invest in him if he ever becomes a starter. Same thing with Ritter.
Yeah, we just hadn't seen enough of him.
I think Pickett hit a ceiling already. I think Pickett hit a ceiling already. Or if he
Hey,
has,
but
he's close to it.
to your
you
point
know,
about-
there was a good quarterback that did come out in 2022.
Who?
Mr. Purdy.
Okay, well, that's
Mr.
one.
Irrelevant.
That's one. Like,
He's outplaying all those guys that got drafted above
No,
him.
I know, and that's
I'm glad
true.
you said that, Eric, because you're right. Because this is the thing, man. Most QBs need development, man. Like they need to, and Purdy's in a great system under a good developer. A lot of these guys are not, man, and it's unfortunate for them. Like, you know, our theory on being drafted to defensive-minded head coaches. Look at the names you name, aside from Purdy. Who's their head coach's background?
Because Pickett got drafted to Tomlin defense. Sam Howell got drafted to Ron Rivera defense.
Malik Willis
got drafted to Mike Vrabel defense. Who am I missing?
This is my theory, man. If you're a defensive head coach, you have to draft a veteran because you won't take the time to develop a young QB.
Play the free agent market, bring in a veteran.
It's very rare. It happens. It's rare, man.
Or you have a very, very good quarterback coach or offensive coordinator on your
development. Same thing.
Hey, not just that. I just think your quarterback room in general needs to be good. And here's my example. I heard Matt Hasselbeck say this when he came into Green Bay. His head coach, I know Mike Holmgren is offense, but he had Mike Holmgren on offense. He had Andy Reid as his quarterbacks coach. Brett Favre was a future Hall of Famer in that quarterback room. And Doug Peterson was smart enough to become a coach in the NFL. So your quarterback room just in general needs to be strong as you're a rookie for development. And I'm not saying Matt Hasselbeck was a world beater, but when he became a star in Seattle, he was solid. He was a pretty solid quarterback. Development is crucial.
For long-term
it's crucial.
success, you have to have the right people in place, man.
You
Coaching
do.
staffs have to be valued. We say all the time here. They got to be valued, man, a lot more than they are.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. So we kind of got off on a tangent there.
Yeah.
So we were looking at we were talking about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is pretty much done because they need either Buffalo to lose or Jacksonville to lose. They need Houston and Indianapolis ended a tie. It's all kind of scenarios. Again, it's not impossible, but the probability we're going over probability over possibility because we know just about anything's possible, but the probability of it happening is slim to none.
Exactly.
Pittsburgh is kind of Now, I'm going to tell you somebody who's sitting pretty right now, and all they have to do is win their game, and that's the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
They win.
Let's talk about them.
They win, they're in right now. They are the 7th seed. They will be traveling to Dallas. They be traveling to Dallas. They're the 7th seed. They be traveling to Dallas. They just need to win.
Yeah.
That's it. And then there's scenarios if they tie the game and some people lose, but at the end of the day, they just got to win. Now, they are traveling to Chicago to play the Bears. The Bears have been playing better football,
especially on defense.
Especially on defense. Jordan Love has been playing really well. You know, he's 11th in passer rating right now in the league. He's top.
He hasn't been bad this year.
Yeah,
he hasn't.
But that's the old Green Bay adage. We draft a guy and make him sit by 3 years, and then he's ready to shine.
Right, and that's regardless if you're on my team or you go somewhere else. Because hey, they had, like I said, they had Matt Hasselbeck on the team a long time ago, Mark Brunell on the team a long time ago. Now it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
But see, also, but just go back real quick. What we just finished saying, you have offensive-minded guys at the head coaching position.
Yes,
Matt LaFleur's offense, and it comes from that Shanahan tree.
Yes.
And it's not even, they don't have to be like great at their craft of offense. They just have to care to invest the time into developing. You're gonna be an expert, Super Bowl winning coordinator or coach. If you're an offensive minded guy, you care about developing your QB to be great, putting that time in there instead of just being, hire someone that you have friendship with and let them do their thing.
Real quick, I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
What's up?
The Bears have to go to Lambeau.
Okay.
So yeah, that changes a lot too. I said they had to go to Chicago. I was wrong. The Bears have to go to Lambeau.
Okay.
So that kind of, you get that 3-point edge that on that line when you're the home team. You feel a little bit better when you're the home team. You got more to play for when you're the home team. It's going to come down to who's grittier. And this is like the oldest rivalry in the NFL we talking about right here.
It is. Yeah, it is.
So,
it is.
We're looking at, it doesn't matter who's playing. They're going to try to kill each other out there. That's really what's going to happen. And,
it is.
But Green Bay has something to play for. Jordan Love has something to prove because, honestly, if Green Bay gets into the playoffs, goes to Dallas and gets pimp slapped, it's still a successful season.
Absolutely.
It really is.
It's still a successful season for them.
They've already overachieved, man. I mean,
they really have. They really have.
Rodgers, you're saying, well, they can't do anything now.
Yeah.
If they can make it in, it's been successful. They can do that.
They have. I found an interesting stat. They have the youngest receiving core in the NFL.
Yeah, I know because a lot of those guys are drafted within the last 2
years.
I'm not mistaken. This past draft and the draft before.
So watch out.
They growing with Jordan Love.
Yeah. They
are growing with him.
Watch out when they get some experience. They're already lighting it up. They have moments where they light it up. They still have growing pains, but there are moments where they absolutely light it up. I tell you right now, I bet you Pat Mahomes wish he had those receivers.
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed. These guys are playing.
Listen, I know we're about to go on a tangent just real quick. I've already said in the NFL group, Kansas City need to bring in Jarvis Landry and T.Y. Hilton. I don't care how old they are. I don't care how slow they are. They can at least catch the football.
Let me tell you something. There have been more memes and more comedy skits done on TikTok and on Facebook and Instagram about these receivers for Kansas City. It's crazy. They are like.
And I said, Kadarius Toney's playing cornerback.
Well,
he lined up on the other side of scrimmage.
And y'all know how I feel. I don't know why they would not invest in trying to get D-Hop when he was available. Well, I know why, because they're spoiled to their success. But
we'll make anybody work. Yeah, we'll make anybody work.
Exactly. You don't have receivers. They're paying for it now.
Kadarius Toney is the reason why they probably aren't challenging for the 1 seed. He single-handedly
lost 2 games.
Line up at corner.
Thank you.
Line up at corner.
Stop it, Brandon.
What? He lost 2 games single-handedly for them.
Yes.
Listen, if you line up at corner, you line up at corner. I'm going to check my own guys. I know what route you're going to run. Hey, guys, cover 0, baby. Cover 0. Watch me cover my own teammates.
We didn't.
And and
I know we don't have a change. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself with Kadarius Toney.
I don't want to shade him, but his maturity was always in question, even leaving New York. It was like, why are they so willing to give him up like that?
And the thing is, they drafted him in the first round.
Most receivers are. It's like, why are they so quick to give him up? With this young QB you have in New York, like you have to ask those kind of questions. Now stuff like this. I'm just leaving right there.
So yeah, and then like
don't line up
when
at
he
corner.
when he had all those drops in early in the season, and he goes to Twitter and
The first game.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you lost us the game. I'd be quiet. Just go
He was
cry.
quiet. He was quiet. Remember, he took off his social media.
But then he popped right back up. So yeah, this is like okay.
Yeah.
But so another good game I think folks should watch. But maybe or maybe not won't be a good game. But these are the two teams that are battling for basically the number 2 seed in the AFC. Miami and Buffalo. Yeah, because this is a division title game. Buffalo just needs to win.
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and Miami, they need to win to clinch this division title. And as banged up as Miami is, Miami needs to win this more than Buffalo does. But Buffalo, well, you can't really say that. I'm gonna back off what I just said because Buffalo doesn't win, they're not in.
I think Miami wins this game, man.
I don't know, man. They missing 2 pass rushers, and they missing, and Xavier Howard may not play, man.
So if Xavier Howard is not playing, Steve, you know who goes in, right?
Oh, your boy.
Your favorite fruit, Eli Apple.
Orange.
Dude.
Eli Apple trying to cover Stephon Diggs. Eli Apple trying to cover Gabe Davis. Eli Apple trying to cover the young guy, Shakir. Yeah, that don't bode well.
Eli Apple, I said it before and I said it again, needs to retire. I'm gonna sit on that.
I think Buffalo. They can play hard against Buffalo.
Of course, they're gonna play hard against Buffalo. It's a division game, but what I'm saying is, you're missing too much on defense. Eli Apple's out there. If I'm Buffalo, I'm playing find the scrub, and you know who the scrub is. Steve, come on, Steve. You and I had that conversation draft night. We had that conversation when Eli Apple was drafted by the Giants.
We did.
Find the scrub. Listen, I don't know why teams don't do this more often. Find the scrub. The scrub is Eli Apple. Target him.
Make them have a great game.
Huh?
Make them have a great game.
Make who have a great game?
You're right. I mean, it's a strategy, man. Even in the NBA, man, find a person who can score.
Yeah.
Make sure they have the ball. Target the worst player, man.
It's just like if I'm on defense, I'm gonna put my best pass rusher on the worst offensive lineman in passing situations.
Absolutely, yeah.
Find the scrub.
Yep.
You line up here because he can't block you.
Thank you.
You line up right here. And as it stands right now, we're not even talking about the guys who we know are out. We got several guys who are questionable. You got Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert.
That's right. Waddle is questionable.
Yeah, and Raheem Mostert is, let's be honest, he's their running game. You got A-Chain and and Jeff Wilson, but Raheem Mostert's basically been the bell cow this season.
He's a killer right now.
But even if Waddle's out, man, their receiving depth is it's good, man. Like, they'll be fine. Yes, it is. Better than most.
Wilson hasn't done much.
Better than most.
Better
than most.
Has Chase Claypool done anything yet?
Better than most. He did something against us. Their receiving depth is better than most. That's all I'm saying.
I'll give you that. I give you that.
And they're coached well too, because Wes Welk is a wide receiver coach down there.
Yeah, he is.
It's gonna be a dogfight. That's why I'm telling the folks at home, you need to watch. This is another good one you need to watch, because regardless, this is gonna be a dogfight, because you when you got two teams playing for their lives, that's when that's when you're going to see the best football. That's where the rubber meets the road. But the winner of this game wins the AFC East, and it's going to be really interesting, because let's see, Steve picked Buffalo. No, I'm sorry, Steve picked the Jets.
But that's when
picked the
Aaron
Jets.
Rodgers was healthy.
That's when
Right. It has to be a big caveat right there.
So we'll throw that out. So our second place teams, my second place team was Miami.
Okay.
Brandon, your second place team was Miami.
Okay.
Tristan and Steve, your second place team was Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we had
But we all picked New England to be dead last.
Yo, that's another topic too, man. Because Belichick and Mac Jones and Billy Zappi. Oh, Billy Zappi was somebody else that was drafted in 2002. Defensive-minded coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Mac Jones was drafted by them in the first round the previous year. Defensive-minded coach.
There's some things we could pat our back on right here. We all picked the Lions to win the North. They've done that. We picked the Chiefs to win the West. They've done that. We picked the 49ers to win the West. We've done that.
Yeah.
The NFC East is still to be determined, but let's be real about that because that's going to be our next topic. Let me see. Yeah. Brandon and Steve, y'all picked y'all team to win it. And right now it's looking like they're going to win it.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles have been laying eggs. Instead of flying, they've been sitting in the nest laying eggs. And so right now, Dallas travels to Washington to play the Commanders, who cannot stop a nosebleed.
And Washington, I mean, I'm not saying Washington should not play hard, but you just want to make sure you got that number 2 overall pick locked up.
They could play. I was about to say his name wrong. Who's the backup? The backup in Dallas.
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. They could play Cooper Rush and their backup receivers and beat Washington.
Yeah, I think Dallas still wants that 2 seed to be at home because you might be wrong, Eric. You said the last game was the last one in Dallas.
I was wrong about that because I didn't perceive the Eagles to completely lay an egg like that.
Possibly because it still could be because my thing is this. Right now it's about health. Yes, we want to win in Washington to get that number 2 seed, but we want to be healthy for the playoffs. Period.
Look, and Steve, I hear you. This is what I would do if I'm Mike McCarthy. I'm trying to score as many points as possible in that first half.
Yep.
And try to be up by 17, 21, 24, 28. Get them out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But while being healthy, because this is
yes, I agree. Being healthy.
This is my thing. Listen, I'd rather be a healthy 5 seed than an unhealthy 2 seed.
I hear you.
No, I get it.
I agree with you.
Listen, I'm thinking about Dak and the O-line. Dak has been winning the games offensively with his arm. We can't run the ball well. He's been winning with his arm. He's been doing really
that
good.
Is true.
I'd rather have him be healthy and hit that 5 seed than being unhealthy and be 2.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I guess you just got to see what's going on while the game is being played.
And that's Mike McCarthy, and it's up to him. And
it really is. He really has to be smart in this game. Get your points, but keep those guys healthy as much as possible.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. So and the Commanders are they're dumpster juice.
I agree, Carl Stewart. I agree.
I didn't see the what was his comment?
What
he's saying he would sit Tyron Smith. I would absolutely, man.
Yeah. So like you want to be healthy, absolutely. Okay. So now we're going into different territory. We're making a shift in the show. We're talking about teams who kind of got what they have, kind of already locked up, and what they should do. So now we're talking about Dallas, who's locked up on the Dallas is locked up. I'm sorry. Let me start from the bottom up. Detroit is locked up on the 3rd seed. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
Okay. Dallas is locked up on the 2 seed. They possibly aren't going anywhere because I still feel like the Eagles could possibly lose to the Giants because Tyrod Taylor's starting that entire game. Okay. The Niners are the 1 seed. They have nothing to prove in this game. The Baltimore Ravens are the 1 seed. They have nothing, absolutely nothing to prove.
Sit your
So you
players.
got, sit your players. Now, making the wrong decision this week for some coaches could come back and bite them in the ass. And here's the thing: not just playing players, your starters, but depending on the culture of your team, sitting players can hurt them too.
That is true.
Prime example, 2019, the Ravens were the 1 seed. Okay? They had the 1 seed. They decided to sit their players. They had those 2 weeks off. They went into Tennessee and lost. Tennessee went to them and beat them because of rust.
Yeah. No, true. No, I agree. Listen, we have a lot of stories about rust.
It's kind of okay, what are you going to do? You have to really know, as a coach, you really have to know your team and your players and how they're going to respond. Yep. Because there are some teams, man, you can't, we need to practice and y'all need to at least get in there for a quarter. That type of deal. But then there's some teams was like, no, they're mature enough. Y'all chill out. Y'all heal up. You got a shoulder. You got a knee. You got a foot. Y'all sit down. Some of y'all been playing hurt and doing well playing hurt. No, sit down now.
I mean, for your impactful players, it could serve as a bye week, man, which is a big benefit. Now, and I'm gonna correct you real quickly. So if the Cowboys and Eagles lose and the Lions win, they could jump to number 2. So they could still hit the 2 seed. The Lions can.
Okay, good.
Depending on how the games go, you just never know.
But here's the thing: the Lions, because of that, they could play their guys. I think they will. So now you got something to play for. But let's be realistic, because again, we're talking about probability over possibility. Because anything's possible. But the probability of the Washington Commanders beating the Dallas Cowboys when they can't stop a nosebleed, okay? They can't stop like my great granddaddy used to say, you can't stop a BB with a horse blanket.
Listen, but it can it can happen, man. If we
we know it can happen.
We see someone aggravated.
What up, James?
It's very possible, man.
No, it is. Listen, it is. But
I don't care personally. I want folks to be healthy, man. That's all I care about.
And when you're trying to make a run, that's what's the most important thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, prime example, San Francisco 49ers, they have locked up the 1 seed. The road to Vegas runs through Santa Clara. Okay. Y'all know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan. Y'all know how I feel about him. And I'm already hearing things like for example, Deebo Samuel was on a morning show with Kay Adams, and he's like, it's all hands on deck for the Rams. Why? Hey, what up, cuz? But why? Why? You have nothing to prove to these clowns. They the 6th seed, you the 1 seed. If they make it to see you later on in the playoffs, you can go ahead and skull drag them and curb stomp them then. Deebo Samuel does not need to play. Christian McCaffrey is already not playing, which is smart. But Trent Williams does not need to play. George Kittle does not need to play. Brandon Ayuk, who's having a career year, does not.
Kyle, you
listen.
Play.
I just say the same thing for my team. You guys are number 1. I say the same thing for my team. Some people just don't got to play this week, man. They already have injury issues, aggravating issues. This is that and that. Like, some folks guys just resting, especially the veterans, like the all-pro veterans that have been in the league for 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Rest your body, man.
Exactly.
And get ready for war in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Like in the case of the Niners, we got war in 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually. Yeah, so you got a long bye to heal up. You can still practice. Go, hey, take that time to heal up, install new wrinkles in your offense and your defense that nobody has film on.
Some folks, aren't going to be rusty. Like, Trent Williams.
Appreciate it, cuz.
McCaffrey, he's not going to be rusty. Like, some folks you just know are going to be fine.
Put him out there. Hey, man, look here. We finna hand you this ball. Go ahead. You know what to do.
Outside zone, Christian McCaffrey. Boom,
he went to Stanford. He's smart enough to.
It's the preseason concept, man. He's casted out 4 weeks in the preseason, or 3 weeks now in the preseason. Coming week 1, good as new. No rust. Certain people, not everyone. No rust. They're just back to normal, man. These are veterans. They get paid. Why they get paid?
Williams don't need to put hell. Trent Williams don't even practice in San Fran. I don't know if y'all know that. He might practice one day out the week.
Actually, you know what?
You're the best left tackle in football. Like, hey man, get in here.
Can I tell you something?
And then you can go sit down.
Tyron Smith has been able to stay healthy majority of the season because he just quit practicing.
Yeah. Because I put Tyron Smith right like in that tier right below Trent Williams. He's like one of the best tackles in the league. You don't need to practice. We installing something new. Okay, come on in here and learn this scheme right here because we installing a new wrinkle here. But just the same old man. Go sit down. Go get some Gatorade, dog.
Look, Trent Williams and Tyron Smith are on the sidelines doing exercises. That's what they're doing right here. Reverse.
Yeah.
Okay, stretch. So,
you said right below. You said right below Trent Williams.
Yeah, I put him like one tier below Trent Williams.
Oh, I probably put him at the same.
He got to do more. He got to have to do more because Trent.
His whole career. He's accomplished more.
Well, okay.
I'll probably put him the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Same year drafted,
hey. I'm just saying, if you go and you ask who the best left tackle in football is,
I'm just saying. I see 3 All Pros. I see someone with 4. I think you're on the same level. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Now you gotta realize what Trent Williams was playing at before he came to San Fran.
No. No. Because we got
now Trent Williams was still
got Joe Thompson in Cleveland getting 8 All Pros. I'm just looking at. I'm saying they're on the same level. That's all I'm saying.
Trent Williams was good in Washington.
Oh heck yeah, he was.
Don't sleep on Trent Williams in Washington.
Just because
he's in Washington don't mean nothing.
He's the best left tackle.
I'm saying the same tier. I think he's better than him. We say tier low. I'm like, wait a minute now.
Okay, so I'm gonna change my vocabulary. I won't say tier. Okay,
I think he's better. He's better.
He's better. Because tier is saying okay,
okay,
this shelf and this shelf. So I won't say tier.
All right.
But Trent Williams is better. Yeah. Tyron Smith got to do a little bit more to be up there with Trent. He's right there. He's definitely right there. But I ain't gonna hate. He's right there. But yeah,
he definitely
train of thought. But yeah, sitting these guys is more important to your run than playing for pride. It's silly right now. The Eagles have to play because they got to win that one game and pray to God that Dallas does something crazy in Washington. To try to regain the 2 seed.
Like I said, it's a shame when you out there and you trying to figure out how everyone should line up on defense. You do that too many times, you're gonna find yourself at home immediately.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh, that's bad.
It was pretty bad.
It doesn't matter who's calling plays on defense. It's whatever dude's name was, and then Matt Patricia, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
Sean Desai. I couldn't think of his name. Sean Desai. But yeah.
But not to pile in on them, but the Eagles have fallen significantly. They went from, if you remember early in the season of power rankings, the Eagles were like, best team in football, and they've fallen from being quote unquote one of the best teams in football, air quotes, to you scratching and surviving with a 5 seed, man. I said, their fan base is turning on Nick Sirianni and them now.
Listen, like I said in the NFL group, if Nick Sirianni doesn't bring a coach on offense and a coach on defense to fix their problems, he's going to be fired at some point after Halloween.
Well, yeah. Well, to address the best team in football, you have to watch the games and how they played out. Besides box score, see who's doing what and how. So Philly winning as much as they were early on should not have constituted. We know that. We're not constitute that, but people were saying that, but they weren't watching the games.
They weren't.
If you watch the games, what's happening now is
because I was on the mindset of I was on the my mindset for them, to be fair, was okay, they're not as good as they were last year. They lost coordinators, so on and so forth, but they're finding ways to win. They pulling victory from the jaws of defeat. But then everything just kind of they were barely winning.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is that how they've collapsed so much. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. So I still think Philly's gonna be a 5 seed.
Well, yeah.
But okay, so Philly's a 5 seed, but that means they're gonna have to play the 4 seed, which is probably gonna be Tampa Bay. I realistically think that Baker Mayfield will shred them. They could literally be 1 and done.
It's a possibility.
That defense is 19th in the league.
Let me ask you a question. Who's gonna cover Mike Evans?
That's my point. Like, I think they have one of the worst defenses in the league.
And then you're talking about shutting down B gap like San Francisco did. Who's the nose tackle? Vita Vea?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to deal with that?
Like, I mean, San Francisco beat Tampa Bay, but Vita Vea gave us some issues.
Vita Vea gives everybody issues. That dude is 350 pounds. He's gonna give that boy is a.
It's not just 350 pounds. It's not just the 350 pounds. It's the 350 pounds and moves like a cat.
That too.
That's the issue.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've seen his clips.
Yep.
Yeah. So realistically, it's highly probable. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. They're 20th in defense in yards.
Who?
Philadelphia's defense.
Man, they lucky.
Well, yeah, and you gotta look at how convincing wins are, right? So even Philly's wins, they weren't really that convincing, even against
25th in points.
They beat Washington by a combined total of 10 points, one game overtime. I'm gonna keep speaking on that.
And that's what I'm saying. But you look at like teams that have convincing wins, and you look at like San Francisco, like in my opinion, I mean, listen, man, I love my team, but I'm like San Fran, and I hate to say it, but it's just the truth. They're just on a different level in the NFC. I don't see anyone, unless they get beat up somehow or just have the worst game on earth, I don't see them on the same level as other teams.
I'm a staunch fan of my team, but I can keep it real. And, it's not bragging when you're being sincere, but it's the facts. The only thing, and I'm not the only person that said this, you had the people that's got the multi-million-dollar deals on the networks have said this. The only thing that can beat San Francisco is complacency and injury.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the NFC. In the
Same
NFC.
thing with Baltimore.
And that's the danger.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the danger, Eric, with
Kyle Shanahan.
Well, aside from that, with San Fran,
damn it.
I know how you feel. With San Fran playing, if San Fran has to play the Eagles in the second round, it could be a bang-up game.
Well, here's the thing, though. Watch this. I'm about to throw something at you that's going to blow your mind. With the exception of the Lions and the Packers, if they get in, every team in the NFC playoffs, San Francisco has played and beaten already.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, no, listen, no.
So
I'm talking about during the game, I'm talking about physicality as far as, I mean, it's the playoffs, man. It's gonna be. I mean, the whole playoffs gonna be rough for everybody, to be completely honest. I don't think
the Eagles can out physical the Niners. Honestly, I don't think the Eagles can out physical the Cowboys, and that was proven.
It's true.
So like the physicality, that's not a team. The only team that could probably match the physicality of the 49ers in the NFC playoffs is the Detroit Lions, but Jared Goff likes to throw the ball away.
Philadelphia. Yeah. The only team I can see Philadelphia beating might be the Packers because the Packers are so young.
But the Packers slinging the ball all over the yard.
That is true. Now.
That is true.
That is true. That is true.
No,
but
Also, the Packers still have Aaron Jones running the ball really well.
That's true too.
Listen, Philly can beat the Rams. They can beat the Lions. Like they can still beat some teams.
They can beat. Okay. Again, Washington can beat Dallas this weekend. Okay, Carolina can beat Tampa Bay this weekend. I see Philadelphia almost being one and done in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
I'm with you there. If this trend continues, I'm with you. I agree with you. Because the right now the trend is not looking good for Philly.
Listen. You name two scenarios where people are sitting their starters because they already clinched their playoff spot. So Dallas and Washington, let's just wash that away because Dallas don't got to play hard to beat them. I got Philly beating. They can beat more teams than that. That's what I'm saying. They can beat the Rams.
Yes, they can beat more teams than that. They can beat Carolina.
Tampa, they can beat the Packers, and they can beat Seattle if they get in.
But it's not going to be easy for them. It's not going to be easy.
No, I don't think they can beat Seattle if Seattle got in.
Okay. Well, I'm saying they can beat more teams than
because they got.
If they're not one and done, I would expect them to not be one and done.
I think why
I said they play against San Fran.
You're underrating the Rams. The Rams got a good run, got this young running back that no one even knew about. They got 3 receivers that can run routes and catch the ball. And defensively, not only do they have Aaron Donald, they got this rookie defensive tackle that I didn't know anything about until last night that can get after the quarterback.
Quietly, he's been whooping tail.
Yes.
Quietly.
Yes.
Yo.
The Rams have an offense that's underrated and a rookie defensive tackle who's underrated. Because I ain't heard a dude until last night. I was like, 9 sacks.
I hear you. I just think the Rams defense isn't there. I don't think they can beat Philly.
Currently right now.
Which is why I was saying Philly's going to play San Fran next round.
And Raheem Morris is an underrated defensive coordinator. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, so the Rams right now they're 18th in yards on defense, and they are they're 19th
star player
in points.
They what in points?
I don't think they can beat Philly.
19th in points. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Wait, I apologize. 19th in points.
Okay.
Points allowed.
I'm not saying Philadelphia is not going to beat the Rams. I just think it's going to be very difficult because right now I'm just not trusting the Eagles enough to.
I think Philly will beat.
I don't think they get past Tampa Bay, and I think that's who they're going to draw this first round.
I think they can get past them.
You think so?
I think they can. I'm not saying they will, but they're good enough.
They can. The question is, will they though? Because they have struggled against teams worse than Tampa Bay.
All of us have struggled against teams that aren't on our level. All of us been through that. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Then we're going to Pando's picks. Okay.
Let me ask you 2 questions. Sorry. If Dallas plays Arizona neutral field 10 times, who's winning?
I don't like this.
Dallas wins 7 out of 3.
No, because I know where Eric wants to go with this.
Dallas wins 7 out of 3.
I don't do hypotheticals.
If Philly plays Tampa Bay neutral field and they play each other 10 times, who's winning?
I don't do hypotheticals, man. I don't.
I think 5-5.
That tells you how bad Philadelphia has fallen.
And yes, I understand, Steve, what you're saying.
If they beat the Buccaneers, no one in here should be surprised. Like, let's be real.
I'm not saying I'll be surprised. What I'm saying is, don't be surprised if Tampa Bay beats Philadelphia.
What has to happen for me? What has to happen for me? For
Buccaneers are garbage, yo.
They're bad. Philadelphia is, despite their record.
Steve, we're not debating that part. We agree with you there, but
so let me just Brandon. My bad, Pando. I know you feel about Philly. But Philly lost to playoff contender outside of the Cardinals, which we lost to the Cardinals too.
I understand that. But did you see what Philadelphia just did to the Giants?
I mean, my team wrecked the Cardinals twice, but go ahead.
Did you see what Philadelphia did against the Giants?
Bad loss, I get that, but I still can't sleep on Philly, man. Like they're not as bad as you're saying. You're saying they're gonna lose to pretty much everybody except for Dallas and San Fran. I don't think they will. You're saying that, Brandon. That's why you're laughing. I don't think I can't say that, man.
The wheels are falling off.
You can't say that though.
Okay, gentlemen.
The wheels are falling off.
Here's my take. Here's my take. Brandon, hold up, Brandon. Here's my take.
Disrespectful.
What's going to have to convince me that the Eagles are ready for the playoffs, they are going to have to go into New York this Sunday, and they can't just beat the Giants. They have to annihilate the Giants for me to believe, okay, they got their mojo back. If they beat the Giants in a one-score game, Dallas multiple. Okay, yeah. So you get me to digress from my point. But if they have to go into New York and just completely destroy the Giants, it can't be a one-score game. That's going to tell me that the Philadelphia Eagles are ready to play championship caliber football.
Agreed.
You gotta beat the bad teams bad.
For sure.
You gotta beat the bad teams bad.
For sure.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, if they don't do that, I'm with Brandon.
Unless you're resting your team for an already solidified playoff spot.
Right, but we're talking about the Eagles and Giants game. The Giants trying to play spoiler and see who they're gonna keep for next season. It's a divisional game.
The Giants can't spoil nothing about the Eagles. The Eagles can't advance unless Dallas and the Lions lose.
This is a fact. But stranger things have happened. And also, we got to look at when these games are going to get played. Because you won't know.
Hold on. Let's look
at that. So the Lions play at 12.
Dallas plays at 4:25 Eastern.
Okay, so
the Eagles play at 4:25 Eastern.
Right. So the Eagles are a late game. Eagles and Giants are a late game. The Lions are early game.
Time. No. Whole NFC East played the same exact time on Sunday, 3:25 Central.
Yeah. So that they need to go ahead and see if they can trounce these guys to convince me. Now, Steve, I hear what you're saying.
I hear
what you're saying.
I hear Eagles team entering. I would love that so much, man. Get your win. Who's out? Oh, damn, man. What'd you say, Eric? Cry Me a River.
Cry Me a River.
Whatever happens,
Justin Timberlake. Man, look here.
That week 18 win.
I have Justin Timberlake on queued up. Cry Me a River.
Exactly. I can say what you're really saying about the Polo Group. I can't say it on air.
Yeah. Cry me a river. Like, hey, man, such just got hurt. Man, I said, how many times, man, it was at one point the Niners led the league and people on injured reserve. And so y'all would come in the group like, man, such got hurt. And I'm looking like, oh, well, cry me a river. I'm a Niners fan. That was that 2020 season when everybody was on injured reserve. I was like, our season's done. Everybody hurt. Yeah. Like the water boy got a doggone walking boot on. Like, man, come on, man.
Yeah, the water boy.
Yeah, man. So let me get to these picks so we get out of here.
Go ahead. Yeah, do you think?
Okay. All right. So starting off, we have Pittsburgh at Baltimore. If Baltimore does the smart thing and sits their guys, Pittsburgh's got a puncher's chance, but I still like Baltimore over Pittsburgh. Houston. This game means something. Houston at Indianapolis. CJ Stroud is back. They're inspired. They playing way above their heads for this season. I think Houston continues the trend, and I think they go in there and get a tightly fought win against Indy. And possibly they get in the playoffs, but possibly depends on what happens with Jacksonville, possibly win the division. We pick Houston to be second in the division, but Jacksonville can slip up.
Yeah, they could.
So Cleveland at Cincinnati. I like Cleveland in this one. Cincinnati is playing spoiler. It's it's what we call I guess you could say a spoiler divisional game. Cleveland's in, Cincinnati's not. This game doesn't carry a lot of weight because I think Cleveland's pretty much locked in where they are in their seeding. So I still like Cleveland. That defense is something serious. Minnesota at Detroit. Again, this goes into what Minnesota decides they're going to do with their starters. If they play their starters, Minnesota walks out with a win. Minnesota has fallen completely apart. Jacksonville at Tennessee. This is a good one. This is one folks need to watch. Tennessee Mike Vrabel's their coach. He's petty as all get out. He gonna try to, mess up their seating. So, but I still like Jacksonville to win this.
Yes.
And go ahead and win the division. Because we did pick Jacksonville to win that division. The Jets at New England. This game has no meaning whatsoever other than evaluating players for next year.
Who's gonna watch that one?
Nobody.
Hey,
Sweat say nobody.
Are the fans even gonna watch the game?
I don't think the fans are gonna watch that game, honestly. This is the I was about to say this is the who gonna get fired first bowl, but they already said they was gonna keep Robert Saleh. So this is the will Bill Belichick get fired game. And because of that, I like the Jets to win this one because they're gonna turn over Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones, whoever the quarterback
Jets have good defense.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Jets got good
they're gonna turn them over a bunch of times. Jets gonna win off of turnovers and short fields. Atlanta and New Orleans. This game here has some meaning depending on what happens with Tampa Bay. But like I said before, and I'm already giving a spoiler, Tampa Bay is going to beat Carolina. But I like New Orleans. They play with pride. They still the more prideful organization in that division.
Mm-hmm.
I like New Orleans to come away with the win. They're at home. This is their home closer. They're going to be like, you know what? We may not make the playoffs, but New Orleans absolutely hates Atlanta.
Both
You
games
have to
are 1 o'clock.
understand. I got so many friends who are Saints fans. They don't like Tampa Bay. They don't like Carolina. They absolutely hate Atlanta. So I like New Orleans in this game, regardless of the playoff implications.
So the big rival down there in the South is New Orleans and Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
New Orleans hates Atlanta.
Really? Okay.
For real? Yes.
Okay.
So and they're at home. Like I said, this is their home closer. I just don't see New Orleans losing this game.
And they get loud in that stadium.
Yes, sir.
They get loud in that stadium.
The Caesars Superdome is loud, except for when the University of Texas band is playing. I'll get into that later. But next game, Tampa Bay, Carolina. That's my Stone Cold lock of the week. Tampa Bay's playing for they playoff life. I don't see them losing this game. Even if Baker Mayfield throws 3 interceptions, he probably gonna throw 3 touchdowns, help him win the game. So yeah, that's my Stone Cold. Chicago at Green Bay. Again, Green Bay's got that 7 seed. They win this game. They're in. Their season is a success regardless. Their season is a success regardless of what happens after that. So I like Green Bay over Chicago. Oh, here's another one. We don't really care. This is the Denver Broncos versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Sean Payton has turned into like a maniacal, like, I don't even know what to call that. Like he's doing some crazy stuff, and the difference is that Antonio Pierce's guys play hard for him because they love him.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
And it's kind of like,
coach.
He's a player's coach.
He's a player's coach. So you sit up and you watch this and you're going, you think about those old medieval movies, talking about somebody who's a king. Would you rather be respected, loved? So would you rather be loved or would you rather be feared as a leader? Give me the love. So I like Antonio Pierce and them to close out their season with a win and solidify him getting that job. Philadelphia and the Giants. I picked Philly to win this game, but I could easily. It's a pick'em game.
Yeah, it is.
I could easily see with Tyrod Taylor starting the entire game. I mean, y'all, they was a field goal kick away from beating the Rams last week. This is a pick'em. With Tyrod Taylor starting the entire game, it's hard. But I mean, if Philly wants to have any kind of life anymore, they got to get up and they got to fight. Mm-hmm. To quote Rocky Balboa from Philadelphia, it's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you get hit and how you can get up and keep moving. Adrian, that's what they're going to have to do. They have to get off the mat.
Eric, you got problems, man.
I'm sorry, I can't do that with a straight face.
You got problems, man.
I can't do that.
His statements are not in that. No, his statements are not in that way. He didn't say that.
You got problems, okay?
Straight face, bro.
You got problems.
I was trying. I couldn't do it.
Did good. He said your age, like she wasn't there.
Okay, but no. Okay,
Got problems, man.
I got Philly beating New York, but it's gonna really matter about how they beat New York. But don't be surprised if New York pulls an upset because I think New York is a home dog in this game. I got Seattle beating Arizona. I really think are you bigger than a fifth grader? Is he gonna come back down to earth in this last game or not? I don't know because Seattle's kind of but Geno Smith is going up against one of the worst defenses in the league. He ought to be able to close the season out looking good. So I got Seattle winning that one. Also, the Cardinals don't stop the run very well. Kenneth Walker's healthy. So KC at the Chargers, they don't have anything to play for in KC. They're locked in. But the Chargers are they're a mess. So I don't know. I still like KC going into LA and winning that one. Rams going to San Francisco. This is all going to depend on what Kyle Shanahan decides to do with his starters. We know Christian McCaffrey's not playing, but we can beat them with Elijah Mitchell. If I have the Rams winning this game because I'm trusting Kyle Shanahan to do the right thing and rest his players. So I like the Rams winning this game. San Francisco might play their starters. They get up in the first quarter, and then here come Matt Stafford and them after all the starters and sat down, that type of deal. So I like the Rams winning that one. And it really, in the grand scheme of things, it means nothing. Dallas beating Washington. Yeah. Notice I didn't say the next game is Dallas versus Washington. I got Dallas beating Washington. They're bad. That Washington defense is bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. And then, of course, the last one to close out the week, you got Buffalo at Miami. I think Buffalo's a little bit more desperate, and they're a little bit more healthy. Miami's desperate, but I think Buffalo they're desperate and healthy, and that's going to make the difference. So to recap, Baltimore over Pittsburgh, Houston over Indy, Cleveland over Cincinnati, Detroit over Minnesota, Jacksonville over Tennessee, Jets over Patriots, Saints over Falcons, Tampa Bay over Carolina, Stone Cold lot. Green Bay over Chicago, Las Vegas over Denver, Philadelphia over the Giants, pick 'em. Seattle over Arizona, Chiefs over Chargers, Rams over Niners, Cowboys over Commanders, Bills over Miami winning the division. And that's our picks. A lot of this can change based on what some coaches gonna do. So, but I have been 11-5 the last 3 weeks. By the way,
those are good picks, man. Those are great picks.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have just closed out another week of Just a Fan podcast. We are live on 5 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, IG, Twitch. You can follow us on 4 platforms: TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, IG. You can listen to us on 3 platforms: Google, Apple, Spotify, podcasts. Down below, the man who came up with the idea for this program, Just a Fan Podcast, and the music producer, Steve White. That direction.
I'm the comic relief.
And he's a half cowboy himself because he has his own ranch.
You'll never see me in a cowboy hat.
No, you won't.
Ever.
But
ever.
That's Pando 316. Coach Williams, NFL Encyclopedia, quarter host of the show, Wildcat quarterback. Fly, Cardinals, fly. Y'all remember that. Peace out, y'all.